We have finally reached Jupiter mobile suits in Ghost. Well, I did touch the what's it called, the dog arc in the Batella video, which you can watch it by clicking this thing on the top right there. Click it now. Watch the video. Anyway, we have properly moved past the Jupiter Empire and entered the Jupiter Republic era, which means we can now begin to look over the whimsical and weird mobile suits of Thoucus. But before we begin, let's answer a quick question. What is Thoucus? Thoucus refers to two things. One is the unit itself. Two is the line of mobile suits that they operate. The Thoucus Special Forces unit is officially part of the Jupiter Republic, but is secretly operated by Jupiter hardliners, also known as me. That being said, they operate more like mercenaries, if anything. The second definition of this word is the line of 7 mobile suits that they operate. Short for 1,000 custom, Jupiter hardliners poured what little resources they had into making these powerful mobile suits. The mobile suits were designed around the concept of 1 yet 1,000, which is apparently a saying. The closest thing I could find on Google was a quote from Rumi. I'm not sure which Rumi we're talking about here, like the K-pop idol Rumi or this old man. Probably the former. But the saying goes, I once had 1,000 desires, but in my one desire to know you, all else melted away. Basically, they just went all in one aspects of the mobile suit, just like before. Well, I say that, but these suits are, well, maybe not all of them, but some of these suits are a lot more balanced in more ways than one. Also, for some odd reason, they're all circus themed. I think this guy here has a clown fetish. We will go through them numerically. That being said, there are 3 ones. We will start with the EMS TC01 Lalo, specifically because of the TC designation code shared with the rest of the Thoucus mobile suits in this video. The Lalo is obviously the first in line of the Circus theme Thoucus mobile suits, and they came out swinging with the first model to develop since it actually looks like a clown. Jupiter took inspiration from Zanskar's Gatlav and Einarad concept and made their own version based on their own technologies. You could see the Batalla DNA on this thing, the shape of its limbs and torso mostly. Due to Jupiter's superior miniaturization technology, the Lalo stands shorter than the Gatlav at around 10 meters, about the same as the Arana Batalla. It probably is based on the Arana Batalla, like it's built on the Arana Batalla chassis. I mean, it already looks like it. Kind of, if you squint. Anyway, the Lalo comes with a ride ball that functions as an SFS, self-flight system. Unlike the Einarad it was based on, the Lalo rides on top of the ball instead of inside it. To use it, the Lalo will connect itself to the ball via magnetized footholes before the pilot controls the ball. Unlike the Gatlav though, the Lalo seemingly does not come equipped with beam shields and relies fully on speed and the ride ball itself for defense. But as with the Einarad, the ball is made from extremely durable material, as it has been seen to be able to take and deflect direct beam rifle shots. However, this only works for attacks coming from the front, as the only way for the ball to protect the Lalo is for it to lean back and cover its body with the ball. This rather unconventional setup does mean the ball is unstealable by other mobile suits, unlike the Einarad. You just have to, if the mobile suits is fit within the Einarad's like circle there, wheel there, you can just steal it, but not this one. But that is offset by the fact that this unconventional setup requires a special set of skills to utilize it to its full potential. Mass production plans were cancelled due to this unorthodox method of motive. Also, like the Einarad, it can function in space, like the thrusters you see around on the outer plating. That most likely like does do the space maneuvering. Anyway, yeah, based on this writing here, it seems that the Lalo was supposed to be Jupiter's next what do you call that, mass production suit potentially. Like suppose maybe it's to replace the Doc. I mean the Doc is not even a. It's not even a supposed to be a military suit. It's a worker suit that can hold a gun, but no, it's still a worker suit technically. So maybe the Lalo is actually was planned to be like the Jupiter's newest suit, newest grunt suit even. I mean, compared to like the rest of the Thoucus suits, this is the most conventional one I find. Anyway, the ball can be utilized offensively. In fact, it was designed to lead a spearhead in tandem with the later Desphys. If the bulk and momentum of the ball itself don't do it, then the beam blades running along the middle of the ball will. The blades will rotate with the ball and deactivate when they need to pass through the Lalo before reactivating again. I don't know about you guys. That sounds incredibly, recklessly dangerous. You're gonna have a beam blade running between your legs, dude. If that thing breaks, if something just goes wrong, you are gonna get sliced in half, ass first. That don't sound like a good time. Speaking of offense, the Lalo only carries a beam rifle that can be split apart to become 2 beam sabers. That is seemingly the only weapon it uses, but in concept art, it also has some kind of like grenades or mines it can deploy from its thighs, but we don't see that happen in the manga, so I'm not sure if it can still do that in universe or not. On to the next mobile suit in the Thoucus line, the EMS TCO2 Phantom. Where the Lalo move more towards the defensive side of the spectrum, the Phantom leans towards speed. The concept behind this mobile suit is similar to Zeon's Comfort of old, a fast mobile suit meant to infiltrate deep behind enemy lines and conduct deep raids, also known as terrorist attacks on civilian targets, preferably. The Phantom has been described as a hodgepodge of design elements. Basically, it's a parts bin special. Using parts and data from a captured F-99 record breaker and the Amakusa, Thoucus assembled the Phantom in hopes of replicating the record breaker's Minovsky drive system. Now, from my understanding, this drive system uses Minovsky particles as like propellant. Since fusion reactors are a near limitless source of energy, like this drive system theoretically could last forever. This also means that for as long as the parts can handle the demands, an incredible amount of particles could be used as propellant in a single time, generating immense thrust. It has been said that the 600 million kilometer journey from Earth to Jupiter could be completed within a week with this system. But unfortunately for Jupiter, it was unable to understand the system completely, resulting in the Phantom being unable to function properly. The Jupiter-based operating system was unable to synchronize with the SNRI-based technology, rendering the Phantom unusable and deemed a failure. The prototype was then stored inside Thoucus' mothership and was essentially left to rot. That was until Font Bo and his custom AI Haroro were able to fix this issue and eventually fully synchronize the 2 separate technologies. But even still, while the mobile suit is now fully functional, the inherent lack of understanding of the technology meant that it wasn't able to function as intended. For once, upon activation, the Minovsky drive system, or Wings of Light, the mobile suit will immediately begin heating up. To remedy this, engineers install essentially eye-field exhaust ports throughout the body to not only cool it down, but also to suppress the emitted beams from completely engulfing the suit in flames. This system does improve the performance in terms of speed mostly. Later on, we actually see it escape the atmosphere, Earth's atmosphere on its own, unassisted. Also, a side effect of having eye fields throughout its body made it completely invulnerable to beam weaponry. But this system was only able to last for about 15 minutes before completely shutting down. It can be extended for another 15 minutes if needed be by forcefully injecting a cooling capsule into the system. But obviously, 30 minutes max isn't nearly enough time for interplanetary travel. So on the whole, the suit is a failure, at least as an interplanetary traveler. Since the development essentially stopped, the Phantom did not have many weapons. The only ones Jupiter engineers built for it were 2 heat sabers hidden inside its waistskirt. But these sabers had an additional function. By opening up its vents and reshaping its eye field, The Phantom can direct its excess Minovsky particles through a saber, essentially turning it into a high-powered beam saber. This, of course, is only possible when the Wings of Light are activated. Jupiter did not bother to develop a ranged weapon for the Phantom, though there were plans. We'll get to that in a bit. Crossbone Vanguard, or Serpent's Heel, as they refer to themselves around this time, instead gave the Phantom a modernized version of the Crossbone Gundam's Butterfly Buster, a beam rifle that is able to switch into a beam saber by folding itself. Now, I just mentioned plans to install a ranged weapon. This planned ranged weapon was likely to be installed around the torso or waist area, but as mentioned, since the drive system did not work as intended, further development of the Phantom was ceased. This ranged weapon would have served as its only method of attack in its MA mode. Yes, the Phantom can transform. By folding its head back, its arms and legs up, and the rear thruster down, the Phantom transformed itself into a bird-like form, not too similar to Jupiter's previous Cornix, with all its Minovsky drive exhaust ports pointing rearwards. In this configuration, the Phantom could reach incredibly high speeds. In one instance, it managed to achieve 4.8 g of acceleration to catch up to a nuclear missile traveling at around Mach 23. In this mode, the cockpit is detached from the main structure, leaving it floating to... well, I don't know actually. Like, even if like the cockpit is separated, you'll still be affected by G's and, whatnot, so... I don't know what's the point of this. It might be like, maybe it's to reduce disorientation, but I feel like it will be even more disorientating because... your eyes are seeing one thing, they're seeing one direction, but your body's feeling a different direction. So this is a great way to give yourself motion sickness at the very least. Anyway, this mode was meant to serve as the cruising mode while the Phantom travels between planets. But as I mentioned many times now at this point, the drive system only works for about 30 minutes maximum, which is not nearly enough time for long distant travel. The engineers welded the transforming parts together after discovering this fatal flaw to reinforce the structure as a whole. Them reinforcing its structure as a mobile suit implies that they continued development, or at the very least testing of the Phantom as a normal mobile suit before completely abandoning it. Now here is where we're gonna stop with the Phantom. Like, it has a lot more lore beyond this, but by that point it's no longer the Phantom. That and also the fact that it continues to crossbone dust, which I haven't fully read yet. So we're going to stop the Phantom here. If not, this is going to be an extra long video that's going to take extra long time to make, because I have to read Dust first. We're not here for Dust though. We're here for Thoucus. On to the third Thoucus mobile suit, the EMS TC-03 Bailarina. Where the Lalo focus on defense, the Phantom with speed, the Bailarina is undeniably the sniper of the bunch. A no-nonsense design dedicated solely to the mounting of 2-needle VSBRs, or variable speed beam rifles. These rifles have two firing modes. One is a slower but more powerful shot, while the other is a faster but more penetrating shot. The Jovian needle variant essentially squeezes a beam shot to achieve the same effect as a normal VSBR while requiring less energy. It has been said that these needle beams have enough power to penetrate colonies. Due to its low energy requirement, the needle VSBR can be fired consecutively, but the pilot must be careful with rapid fire as to not melt the barrels. Now, I know I said this was a no-nonsense design, but there's one weird thing about the Bailarina. The weapons it was built around are also its legs. Due to the squeezing nature of the needle rifle, its legs are thin, and while it can function under gravity, it is extremely weak and not meant for walking. Another rather unconventional thing about this is that both of its reactors are actually located in its thighs. While this simplifies the connection between them and the VSBR, since they're literally just next to each other, it is rather, I guess, one of a kind, because I don't think there's another mobile suit, not mobile armor, right? The Divinidad and the Psycho Gundam don't count. That puts its generator like in its limbs and not outside. It's not in like its main torso. So I don't know if this is a bad thing, but it's very odd. It's at the very least. While it can engage in close range combat, that is obviously not what's built for. But were the Bailarina to do it, it would have to rely solely on the beam fans on each arm. This melee weapon projects from its wrists and resembles traditional hand fans. It is a rather potent weapon. It can do its job as a beam melee weapon, but as mentioned, this is not what a Bailarina was built for. But if the pilot is good enough, then I guess you can achieve anything, I suppose. Other than that, the Bailarina does have a mobile armor mode, which is actually its proper firing position. The mobile armor mode provides a more stable firing platform since it would actually be flying, and both legs would be locked in position. You don't have to awkwardly stand on one foot, on one weak foot, mind you, while trying to aim with another. That's just kind of weird. We'll end today's video with the EMS TC-04 Desphys, the exact opposite of the Bailarina. Built entirely for close combat, the Desphys comes with 2 beam fangs, which are essentially 3 beam sabers arranged around a rounded point, similar to the claws of the old Zegok. Much like the old Zegok, a beam gun is built into the palm of its hands. This makes up its only range capability. Now, it appears that the Desphys is powered by a high output generator, as when it's in combat, its faceplate opens slightly to reveal cooling vents. This generator is needed for the Desphys to achieve its high performance in close combat. Due to its limited range capability, the mobile suit is fitted with 4 thrusters on its back, most likely directly attached to the reactor, to close in the distance between it and its target as quickly as possible. Not only that, but the high energy output also appears to make the beam fangs strong enough to be some sort of motive system, as the Desphys can achieve flight and underwater mobility via spitting the fangs into a propeller shape, which also can be used offensively as a drill or a saw blade. Even more, the blades are actually strong enough to be a shield, capable of withstanding at least 10 megaparticle shots at once. It has also been said that the power of these fangs is capable of completely punching through any and all beam shields with ease. It is a very deadly mobile suit to face in battle, but there are some weaknesses to it. One, of course, is its limited range capability. Another is its light construction. To be able to achieve its high acceleration, armor was seemingly sacrificed. On 2 occasions, the Desphys' armor has been seen dented from physical hits. Granted, it was like a part of a building and a giant rolling ball that hit him, but this part right here says it's lightweight, so it could mean it doesn't have a lot of armor. It doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't, but if it's light, usually something light doesn't have a lot of armor. Usually, not all the time, but usually. The Desphys has another variant called the Mole. The Mole is the same thing, but with different arms. As per its name, the mole's purpose is to dig into the earth. This is achieved by swapping out the beam fangs with a set of beam drills. These drills are only meant for digging and thus have a lower power output, and is also remove the beam guns inside of it, making it completely useless in range engagements. Atmospheric flight and swimming are also no longer possible due to the smaller, albeit more numerous blades. But while the Mole is weaker equipment-wise, it is still a Desphys and thus keeps its high acceleration. In the hands of the right pilot, the Mole will function just as well as the standard model. Right, that is the first 4 suits of Thoucus with at least 3 more left to go. We'll end it here today because I like 4. 4 chapters is a pretty good number of chapters, I think. I try to aim for 4 chapters for all my videos. Well, maybe not some. If it's not possible, then yeah. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, it's over. Welcome back. Welcome back to the end. Welcome back to Thoucus. I can't. I'm so tired. I just streamed Skyrim just now. Yeah. Anyway, Thoucus. Don't know why they look like a circus, but they do, which I guess is a look. I guess. That being said, I don't hate it. I mean, some of them actually kind of look too weird to me, but I find the Lalo and the Desphys, at least in this bunch, I find the Lalo and Desphys to be my favorite one. I don't know which one's better to me, but maybe the Lalo. I don't know. The Lalo does look like a weird like frog clown. Weird, yeah. But it's concept art. I actually like the concept art version more. It looks a lot more less clowny, more spooky, I guess. Which I mean, I guess you could still look like a clown, like that circle thing in the middle. That could be like a nose or something. But yeah, they redesigned it and one of this frog clown thing, which I'm still able to like. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I can roll with it. I mean, like the Lalo because it's the most like conventional one out of all the Thoucus suits. It is like literally the only one that's like normal. Like aside from the fact that it rides a ball, it is probably like the most normal suit there is in this like at least in this four. So maybe that's why like there were plans to like mass produce it and make potentially make it like the what do you call it, the standard suit of the Jupiter military or whatever they're called at this point, the Republic Guard. I'm not sure what it's called. It's never been named, but it potentially would be the what do you call that, the replacement for the Dog Ock, I guess. But again, because it rides the ball in such a odd way, it's hard to control since you lean back and you don't really see that much, I guess. How would you see it actually? I'm not sure, but yeah, like compared to the Einara, which you just ride in and then I guess you can see around it maybe, or maybe there's like a camera on top attached to the ball, but it's uh, you see out of the Lalos, from what we see at least. It doesn't have that. He actually has to like stick his head up to see what do you call that, over the ball, I suppose. So I guess that makes it rather hard to what do you call that, control. Why did maybe they could have just like taken the wagon. They could have just done that instead of just make a modern version of the wagon. They really want a fast boy, a fast rolly boy, but no, I guess they went with the Lalo, I guess. The Desphys, it just looks like a shark, and I like it. I like it. I really do. But yeah, the Phantom, I was thinking of just putting everything in here, but again, it's a hero suit, so it's gonna have a lot of stuff. And if I do that, this video is gonna be like too long, and I didn't want to do that because that takes a while to do, and I don't have time to do wild videos, especially with my scheduling. I might change my scheduling for next year, how I do stuff, and like the frequency of videos. I might do that, but we'll see, I guess. But yeah, the Phantom, or the Ghost Gundam as it's known later, does stretch into Dust, and I haven't read Dust. I haven't fully read Dust yet. I've only read like a couple volumes of it because the rest hasn't been translated yet. But I found a way to read raw, so I might do that sometime in the future. Anyway, that's that. That's me. Thanks for joining, fellow Jupiter, fellow Jovians. If I sound tired in this one, guess because I am. I just got done 4 hours of Skyrim. I just got done 4 hours of Skyrim stream, and I'm very tired right now. So, but yeah, I need to record. So here I am recording it. Anyway, if you like what you saw, would you like to see more of our mech videos, mech overview videos, and lore videos, then please do consider joining the Jupiter fleet, the Jovian fleet. We need more pilots. We always need more pilots, right? More pilots equals easier time taking over Earth. Okay? We need to take over Earth. I don't like them. Not just me. Everyone here don't like them. But if you're not willing to join the military, the fleet, which is understandable, right? It's a very dangerous lifestyle. Then maybe you can just leave a comment and just leave a like and comment. And then that will boost this in the algorithm and appear and it will push it onto other Jovians that are a lot more, let's say, brave, less of a pussy than you are. All right, and they'll join the fleet instead in your stead, of course, so that you won't, pussy. Anyway, there's also the personal grave, as I like to call it, but it's actually the colony the colony PA system. PA system, public communication service. My Discord channel. You can go there, join in, post art, post memes. That's what I usually do. I communicate it through memes over here. I also stream my gaming. I mean my stream by simulator training sessions. Yes, as I said, I just now did Skyrim that trains me in the art of being a human on an Earth world, right? So I can sneak better, right? I can blend in better, and then I can do covert missions. You should do that too, right? You should train your covertness as well by playing Skyrim, or you can just join me when I stream my game. I mean my simulator sessions. Yes. Glory to Jupiter Colony. Glory to the rest of our Jovians, all my Jovian brothers and sisters. Glory to the fleet and all the pilots. Keep up the good fight. Fuck those Earthnoids. Take care. But remember, as you fight them, please don't die. That'd be counterproductive. There'll be less pilots, and I'd want more pilots. We need more pilots. We don't need less pilots, we need more pilots. So please, when you go out there fighting the Earthnoid nerds, don't die.